Good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to the last Thursday edition of FSU Weather for the 2022 year. I'm student meteorologist Caitlin McKinney. We've got a wonderful show packed for you today. That sunset over Doe Campbell Stadium is just setting. It's gorgeous out there. We've got nice and clear skies. Currently, it's 60 degrees, so we are feeling a little chillier than we have the past couple of weeks. So we're going to be looking and experiencing those cold weather because of that front that had moved through yesterday with all of that rain. Current temperatures across the board looking about mid-60s and lower or mid-50s. Those are going to drop just slightly as we go into the overnight hours. And our local radar showing those dry conditions that we talked about. We do have that front move through, so we are looking nice and clear for Tallahassee. And that's going to be the story for the rest of the weekend. Also, we're going to be having nice and clear skies. For our show today, though, we're going to have warm and dry finals week, which is going to be wonderful. We can study for our finals outside. We're going to be tracking the snowstorms in the western United States. That's something to think about. And it's the first day of meteorological winter, so happy December 1st, everyone. We have all of this and so much more on FSU Weather.
Good evening, Tallahassee. I hope you guys have been enjoying these nice, cool temperatures that we've been having for today. It's been a nice change of pace from last week that we had warmer temperatures. I personally enjoyed these temperatures because it's actually cooler and I can put on all the winter clothes that I've had. And although it doesn't seem like it will last too long, we will be seeing, again, another rise in temperatures. And NOAA, the Climate Center, actually predicted that we're going to have a warmer than average winter for the southeast. Aside from the cooler temperatures in Tallahassee, we're actually looking at a lot of activity actually for most of the country. In the west in California, they're getting a lot of rain. That's much needed rain because of this drought that they've been having for most of the year, so that's good. Up in the Pacific Northwest, they're getting quite a bit of snow as well. And here closer to home in the southeast, they're getting quite a bit of rain. Earlier this week, pretty much pounded with intense thunderstorms. There was a couple of tornado watches and warnings, and again they're going to get some more rain, but it's good because that region again has also been pounded by some pretty strong droughts. And again, we're also looking at some winter weather in the northeast. In New York, they still have some lake effect snow going on, but that seems to be clearing out for the time being. But that's what we're going to be looking at the show for now. Now I'm going to pass it off to Nico with a look at our local.
Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, as we look at your local around here, live look at Doe Campbell Stadium. We've got a clear sky this evening. It's much chillier after the cold front that came through, producing a line of strong to severe storms late yesterday morning. It's currently clear with 60-degree temperatures. This is going to be the coolest night we have all week, as it is going to warm up. It is Florida. But as you look at your temperature almanac, 66 was the high today. It was actually a below average day by a couple degrees, and low was a degree below average. We were nowhere near the record high or the record low that we set back in 1913 and 1979 respectively, though. As you look around at your current temperatures, 60 in Tallahassee, but look what happens when you go up to the north. Thomasville, Georgia, you're only at 52 as you get more chilly air. If you're along the coast, though, 61 in Sumatra and 58 in Apalachicola as you are influenced by the warm Gulf of Mexico. But looking at your dew points, this is where you got dry air. 34 in Donaldsonville, 35 in Tallahassee. When your dew points are in the 30s, you know you have dry air. Even closer to the coast, your dew points are in the low 40s. So you've got pretty dry air area-wide. The problem with the dry air, though, is look at the drought monitor right now. We're still in a severe drought. We did get a little bit of rain yesterday. We did not get enough to take us out of the severe drought. We need more. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be dry for the next week or so, so that's not exactly great news. Tallahassee is officially just inside of the severe drought. So be careful if you're going to be burning leaves or anything outside. You do not want to be the cause of a forest fire. And when conditions you have right now, you could easily be, if you picked the wrong day to do it, with wind. But looking at your current radar, we do not have any needed rain around the area. There's not any clouds even. It's sunny. There's no clouds in the sky this evening. As you look at your future radar, your wind is out of the east, and you'll see some clouds coming in from the east, but you're not going to get any rain out of this. Even on the coast, you're not going to get rain. It looked like there might have been earlier this week, but it doesn't look like it anymore. Looking at tonight's local forecast, though, it's going to be 48 degrees in Tallahassee. That's going to be one more chilly night, and then it's going to warm up later this week. 43 degrees in Thomasville is your chilly spot, and your warmer spot is 53 in Caravel. As you go into tomorrow, it warms up. 74 under sunny skies tomorrow. It's going to be a really nice day to be outside. If you want to be out and about studying for finals next week, you can study outside if you want to with that kind of weather. If you're taking your dog for a walk tomorrow morning, though, if you like chilly weather, the earlier the better. But tomorrow looks like a nice day overall. It's going to be in the mid-60s by 11. And then as you look at your 7-day forecast, we have a slight chance of rain on Sunday, but it doesn't really look like a massive rain producer or a big threat. You've got your warmest day on Saturday, but as you keep going into the end of the week, it warms up into the 80s by the middle of finals week with no high chance of rain. But now I'm going to pass things off to Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Nico. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about Florida, which is following a similar story to what we're feeling here in Tallahassee. We've got lots of sunshine, like the Sunshine State, and lots of dry air. It's dark most of the state right now because we did have that time change making the sun go down a lot quicker, but it's still beautiful, clear skies for most of Florida right now. Here's that front that we're talking about. It's almost done all the way through Florida. We're dry here. Miami's about to get the last little bit of rain from this system as it moves through the next couple of hours, and then it'll be completely through Florida, and we'll be experiencing dry, clear conditions for most of the state. There's that little bit of rain left from the frontal system that moving through. It's just bringing a couple more showers down to Key West, almost completely out of our area. Nothing to worry about. That severe weather that happened yesterday is not what they're experiencing in Miami this afternoon. And for Central Florida, you guys are dry, just like most of Florida right now. We've got a couple of little feedback from our radar, but nothing too crazy going on in this weather world in that Central Florida. And for our North Florida people, we're experiencing the same thing. We're dry. Everyone in the state is dry as that front has moved through. But we are colder, which is nicer, because even in South Florida, though they had a cold front move through, it did not bring that cold air that we're experiencing that you may have been feeling today as you're walking around campus. Current conditions, like we said, still 80 sitting in Key West, 78 in Miami, so they're still feeling those warm summer-like temperatures. But we're sitting at a sunny and 60 degrees. That's going to feel nice as we go and get our fall lattes, or maybe we're going to go see Christmas lights or anything like that as the holiday season is approaching. Dew points do show that we've got drier conditions. South Florida is still looking a little muggy, but we're having dew points in 35, which means we're feeling those dry conditions, which is really nice after we've been having kind of muggy weather the past couple days with that rain yesterday. It was just not fun. Future radar, we're going to stay dry for most of the state for the next couple of days. Your weekend's going to look sunny and beautiful. We're going to have to go out to the beach, enjoy this last little bit of warmth before winter finally makes its way in. It is the first day of winter, so I'm pretty excited about maybe experiencing a little weekend of heat as we go into the next December month. For Miami, you guys are sitting in the 80s for the next 3 days, so definitely get out, go to the beach. It's really nothing crazy. You've got drier weather, may I say, and you have no rain, so it's just going to feel really lovely. For Tampa, you guys are similar to Miami. It's going to be nice and sunny for you guys, so definitely get out and about. You guys may have, it's probably a little nicer now. You guys did have all the hurricane that came through, but now we've got some sunny, clear skies. Maybe get out and enjoy the weather. Orlando, all of you Disney lovers, it's going to be 81 degrees there too, so we're sitting in the 80s for most of the state in South Florida. Nice and sunny, better conditions than we've experienced in the past. And for our friends in Jacksonville, Daytona Beach area, you guys are a little bit cooler than South Florida, 74, but sunny and 75 is a wonderful weather. Everyone loves that kind of weather, so that's going to be really nice. And our friends in Pensacola, my home area, we've got some really nice temperatures sitting in the mid-70s to lower 70s, nice and sunny. So enjoy the Florida today. We've got the Sunshine State bringing lots and lots of sunshine, something we all really love to see. But Nico, what are you going to talk to us about?
Thank you, Caitlin. So I'm going to be taking a look around the southeast. Look at Clemson, South Carolina. That's a really nice sunset. That's where one of our rivals plays, though, but that's a really nice sunset that you have right there. But it looks really nice around the entire southeast right now. You've got the clouds formations making these nice sunsets. But looking at your satellite and radar area wide, the front's way down in South Florida now, and you have some showers and storms near Miami, but the rest of Florida is dry at the moment. And the rest of the southeast is dry except for a few light showers in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and near Dallas, Texas. And you're not going to see any of that make it out to Tallahassee, so you're going to stay dry. Your upper level water vapor tells the story of this. You can see very dry conditions. You don't even have much in the way of clouds right now, and all the moisture is sitting over the Gulf of Mexico. you've got some clouds up in Atlanta and a little bit of moisture, but you don't have any rain falling from that. So it's going to stay dry around the southeast. It's also going to stay chilly unless you're in central and southern Florida where it's in the 70s. They tend to stay warm, though, even at this time of the year. But as you go up into the northern part of the southeast, look at Nashville, Tennessee at 44 degrees. That's a pretty chilly temperature. It's still only around average for this time of the year, though. It's not excessively cold. The southeast, though, is very dry, with your driest spots being an 18-degree dew point in Nashville and a 17-degree dew point in Charlotte. And Miami, you're still humid and hot like you normally are at this time of the year. Southern Florida doesn't really get a break from the heat very often. As you look at your wind speeds and direction, though, right now, your wind in Orlando is out of the east at 14 miles per hour because you have a little bit of an easterly flow along the coast. The rest of the southeast, you have very weak easterly winds. It's going to be a light wind tonight. You're not really going to notice it. But as it showed you the drought monitor earlier for the Tallahassee area, it's not just a problem for us, it's a problem for pretty much the entire southeast, except for a bit of southeastern Texas and southwestern Louisiana and parts of eastern Mississippi and a sliver of Alabama and Georgia. The rest of the southeast is in under either a moderate drought or severe drought, and if you're lucky, you might be slightly dry. But dry weather has been an issue around the whole southeast. As you look at your future radar, though, this system does not make it all the way this far south. It dies out before then with only a few showers left on Saturday evening north of our area, and this doesn't look like a heavy rain event anyway for anywhere in the southeast. As your 48-hour rainfall forecast will show, areas are going to stay under an inch of rain for the most part, and we're not going to get anything in Tallahassee. But looking at tonight's forecast, you've got lows in the 30s and 40s around the entire southeast, unless you're in Florida where your lows are going to be in the 60s. And then into tomorrow's forecast, you've got your highs in the 80s in Florida. But the rest of the area is going to be in the 50s and then closer to coast around the mid-70s. But now I'm going to pass things off to Nicholas.
Thank you, Nico. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that rain event that's going to pass through the mid-south region of Tennessee and Kentucky that Nico was talking about. But as he was saying, we are still in a pretty bad drought for most of the South. The majority of it is still in a severe, up here in the northern, here in Kentucky, near Memphis, actually still in extreme drought. So this rain is actually going to bring some well-needed moisture and water to the region where these rivers, like the Mississippi, are still pretty low. But for the most part, there will be some rain coming in to alleviate that drought. But right now, there isn't too much in terms of rain. Those showers that passed through earlier this week, due to that front that's down by Florida right now, has already left all the showers that happened earlier in the week. There's just a couple showers here near Memphis that might bring some rain, but the majority of the rain that's going to be coming through will be in the next few days. And that's due to this system right here, all in the west. There's two low pressure systems here in California and up here a little bit north near Idaho that's bringing a lot of rain and snow to the region, especially here in California. That's also pretty drought-stricken, bringing some well-needed water as well. So this system is going to make its way all the way to the east and bring some rain towards mostly here in Tennessee, northern Alabama, and in the north of Atlanta. So there's going to be rain mostly throughout the Mississippi Valley region for the next 2 days over to the weekend. Most of that rain is going to be concentrated here in Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northern Alabama. This region could be seeing up to 3 inches of rain. The rest of the surrounding southeast is going to be smaller rain showers, about an inch and a half. But over here in Tennessee is where people are going to need to keep the most watch, because there will be some flooding potential. As you can see, the WPC flood potential has a slight risk, basically covering the entire state of Tennessee. So the northern Alabama, northeastern Mississippi, and northern Georgia are under that flood potential watch as well as the southern Kentucky region. Now, temperatures as well are going to increase throughout this region. And as you can see in Nashville, it's going to drop down to 29 on Saturday, but then temperatures should go back up into the 50s and 60s. Now I'm going to pass it off to Nico and Caitlin for our winter outlook.
Thank you so much, Nico. Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about winter weather because it is the first day of the meteorological winter, and temperatures and all the precipitation is looking like we're following kind of trends across the country. What do you think, Nico?
Yeah, it does look like that. And it looks like the south part of the country is going to stay mostly dry for the month of December. All it takes, though, is having one big system to get a lot of rain, but the dry pattern isn't exactly good for areas in the drought. And it also looks like it's going to be warmer than average.
Yeah,
and that's what you will notice on the map right now.
Yeah, we're going to experience lots and lots of warm temperatures, but those for us in the north, they're going to be experiencing even cooler temperatures. So maybe for that holiday season, they're going to get to experience maybe a white Christmas. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, that would definitely be cool for areas up there. Your highest chance of a white Christmas is going to probably be in the northwest because you're expected to have cool temperatures and wetter than average conditions. You have no chance, basically, of a white Christmas down in Florida. We never do here.
No, that's never been the case. I remember it sleeted one year, but that's not the same as a white Christmas. That's ice and muddiness and gross. But our winter temperatures, they're looking above average for our area, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I hate the cold. What do you think about the cold?
I like the cold weather, but it's definitely nice we get good storms when we get warm weather, and I like storms. So, but the other problem with that is the dry weather. It's not exactly ideal when you're in a drought.
Yeah, and we've been talking about how much Tallahassee's in a drought right now, so it's kind of like sad seeing that we're not going to be having as much precipitation as expected compared to other places.
Yeah.
We kind of need that water vapor and that precipitation.
Yeah, we definitely do, and it looks like the areas that are going to get a lot of precipitation this winter are going to be the northern half of the country, and maybe some parts of the inner southeast like Tennessee, Kentucky. You might have some more rain, but Florida is in the highest chance of having a drier than normal winter. So that's obviously not great news. And you also have other areas of the desert southwest which are going to be in drier than normal conditions from they're in a drought too.
I wonder how that's going to affect like all of us traveling back home after finals, because I know finals is coming up and we all want to get home. And I know a couple people, at least in our major, that are from the north. They're going to have a couple issues getting home. It's going to be cold too.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have a little bit of a weather shock when they fly up to the northeast. It's going to be cold and wet.
Yeah.
Next weekend most likely, and that's going to be the area where you might have the travel delays too, but probably not in the southeast.
No, of course not. But I mean, this like the Pacific Northeast, they have lake effect snow, and I think that Nico's going to talk a little bit more about that. Nico, what is lake effect snow?
So yeah, to remind you guys how lake effect snow works is that when cooler air, usually coming from the north Arctic regions, it flows over these Great Lakes, which at this time of the year are usually at a relatively warmer temperature than that air that flows over. So since this warmer water has moisture and warmer temperatures, as soon as that air passes over, it collects all that moisture and warmth, and then as soon as it goes back onto land, it dumps it all out in insanely strong precipitation events. So much of these regions here in upstate New York have actually already been pretty much have had lake effect snow for the past 2 weeks, especially, I'm not sure if you guys remember, in Buffalo they had about 5 feet in one day at one point. But for the past 24 hours, we've got about less than a foot for here off of Lake Ontario and right here off of Lake Erie in upstate New York. And there's still an active alert of lake effect snow up until 7 p.m. here in the Lake Ontario region near Richland in upstate New York. As for our satellite radar, most of the lake effect snow has already passed through. Most of the event happened earlier today, and they won't be expecting too much snow for the next 24 hours. So as we zoom in here, most of the snow has already happened. It was mostly throughout the afternoon here in Orwell off of Lake Ontario, but you shouldn't expect to see much more snow later on into the week. There's still some snow over here in Maine near Bangor and over here near Portland, but that snow is also starting to dissipate, but you will see some precipitation for the next few hours. As for our future radar, only near Waterton and Syracuse here in Lake Ontario do they see some lingering lake effect snow, but for the most part that snow again is starting to dissipate, so you won't be seeing those record snowfalls that we've had for the past few weeks. As for our snowfall forecast, only in Rome here in upstate near the Adirondacks do we see some still lingering snow. As I said, it's going to be going to pretty much, most of the snow is going to have already passed through, so we can actually see a respite in the precipitation, and you guys might be able to go outdoors and not be stuck in feet of snow. And now I'm going to pass it off to Nico for a look at the western snow.
Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, we're going to take a look at some more wintry weather in the west after my graphics pop up. Sometimes it can be slow, so I want to wait for a second. There we go. But we got the winter storm watch. This is the Sierra Nevadas. You might have a big winter storm coming over the Sierra Nevada mountains, and this is an area that is used to the snow. But as you look at all of your mountainous regions in the west, pretty much all the mountainous areas are covered in winter weather alerts right now. And this is the reason why. You have an upper level low pressure swinging in from this is not too far from Alaska, that's coming down. It's going to get to Pacific Northwest later this week and into this weekend, and you're going to see your snow showers from that. As you look at your current radar, you've already got some of it forming in this area. This is where you have the winter storm warning in parts of Nevada and Idaho, and you have the winter storm watch in California along the Sierra Nevada mountains. And California, you might not associate with rain, but when they get these low pressure systems, they can still get the rain there, and they tend to actually get a lot of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains, which may or may not be something you know, but if you go out there, there's going to be a lot of snow. And here's the good news about this, though. They're in a severe drought in the Southwest. So this part of the Southwest, snow helps too, because that will melt and eventually turn into water. So anywhere you're having rain or snow over drought areas, that's definitely well welcomed and needed. But if you're driving through the mountains, you definitely need to be careful as you drive in that kind of weather. Same story goes for the mountains in Idaho. You can see where the snow starts and stops. It starts along the mountains, but the areas that are closer to ground level, closer to sea level, you're getting rain or you're getting nothing at all. So those areas you need to, if you're going up to the mountains, you need to pay attention as you're driving right now. But if you're going skiing in the Sierra Nevadas, that's definitely welcomed as well. Same thing in Idaho. You've got the Idaho-Montana border. You've got a lot of snow along the border right now. You've got some rain mixing in along the interstate. This is probably near Boise, Idaho. I know it's somewhere in the southeast part of Idaho. If you're commuting from there, you're going to be driving through some rain too. But look at the precipitation forecast. Especially along the Sierra Nevadas, you're going to have a little bit, or not a little bit, you're going to have a lot of snow. You're going to have a little bit of rain to the west of it, where you're going to be above freezing instead of below freezing or near it. But some of the areas of the Pacific Northwest are going to get nothing at all from this. It's mainly a mountain event or a coastal event. And you can see, you're looking at your terrain right now with your enhanced snowfall and higher elevations. As you can see, your highest elevations are where you're seeing your highest snowfall, because you're the coldest temperatures right now. And up in those areas, you could have up to 2 feet of snow from this system. And as you look at the mountainous area, this is a tourist area. South Lake Tahoe, you've got a 90% chance of snow on Sunday, which is when this system's supposed to peak. But it is going to clear out as we go into next weekend. So you can definitely look forward to that. But now I'm going to pass things off to Nicholas.
Thank you, Nico. So yeah, here in our lifestyle segment, it seems like we're going to have a pretty nice week for outdoor activities and watching sporting events. Right now in Tallahassee Sportsplex, we got clear skies. Same thing here in Panama City, Lake Bradford, and St. George Island. So it's going to be a pretty nice night if you guys are, it's going to be a little bit chilly, but if you guys want to go out, play some sports, it should be a pretty good conditions for that. As for NFL Thursday night football, the Bills at the Patriots. So right now in Foxborough, as I said in my last segment, there was some snowfall over in western Massachusetts. I don't think it reached all the way far east to Boston, but it's going to be really, really chilly. Something that these two teams are pretty much used to. The Bills play with cold weather all the time, Patriots as well. 34 degrees at 8 p.m. when kickoff happens, and then later on to the night, it's going to stay really at those freezing temperatures. But it should be a nice clear night for some good football. As for tonight in College Town, it's going to be pretty cold here as well for my liking. Nothing like in Foxborough, but we're going to have temperatures at 49, 10 p.m. It's going to go down into the mid to low 40s later on into the night. But as well, it's going to be a very clear night. As for the res, tomorrow the temperatures are actually going to rise up a little bit. It's going to be a really nice night, really good day to go out into the lake, maybe kayak or go sailing as well. 74 degrees and with a slight breeze from the northeast at 8 miles per hour. As for our beach forecast, things are going to be pretty chilly. There is a moderate rip risk and pretty strong winds, 15 miles per hour from the east. So I don't think it would be too good of a day to go to the beach or get out in the water, but perhaps to see the sunset or the sunrise, it might be nice. There will be a temperature of 72, and the water will be starting to cool off at temperatures of 65. Tomorrow will be a great day to go support our women's soccer, our defending champs. It's a rematch of the ACC championship from earlier this year. They play North Carolina in Cary, North Carolina. Again, some cooler temperatures, 49 at 6 p.m., and then they will cool off into the mid-40s later on into the week, and later on into the night. As for men's basketball, starting at 2 p.m., 62 degrees, and later on into the afternoon, again, it will warm up. We take on number 3, Virginia. Our basketball team hasn't been doing too well, but hopefully we can get that W this time. Our women's basketball, on the other hand, has been doing better, and they kick off at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Temperatures are 74, so it's going to be a pretty nice day to walk to the support our Knowles and walk to the stadium. As for our weekend forecast, temperatures are going to be really nice. 74 degrees on Friday, and then a little bit warmer later on into the weekend, and we're going to have lows into the upper 50s. Now I'm going to pass it off to Caitlin for a look at the local weather.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nico. What a beautiful weekend we have coming to Tallahassee. It's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, it's the end of the work week, end of the school week, and it's the weekend before finals. So it's when we're all going to be spending together, I think, studying, or maybe just decompressing a little bit before finals gets going. We're dark, but it's still beautiful. We've got no clouds. And our current temperatures for the area sitting in the mid-60s, low 50s, or mid-50s, low 60s, I apologize. But we've got some really nice temperatures. Those are going to feel wonderful if you're going outside tonight. Just know that you might need a light jacket if you're one of the people that get cold, but it's going to feel nice and dry. We've got dew points sitting low. We've got 35 dew point. That means we're going to have those dry. No cloud conditions. It's going to be wonderful. And you have no reason to worry about rain, so you don't have to wear your rain boots or your rain gear. We've got really, really dry, nice, clear skies going into tonight with cooler temperatures. And if you are going outside 46 degrees, like we said, it is going to cool down a little bit. It's definitely different than we've seen the past couple weeks, but we've got no wind. We're going 5 miles per hour, just very nice, very pretty outside here in Tallahassee. Your week ahead, like we said, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. Get out. It's going to be 75, sunny. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to have a little bit of rain chance on Sunday, but nothing to really dampen all of your plans. And we've got warm weather coming up next week, so that's something to think about as finals comes up, where you're studying, how you're studying. We've got warm temperatures coming, which is abnormal for December, but it's Florida. It's December. It's going to be great. We're going to pass things off to Nico's, both of them. They're both named Nico, and they're going to close us out at the desk.
Thank you, Caitlin. Yeah, I'm pretty thankful that we're going to have these nice weather and warmer temperatures next week for finals week, because I don't have to be cooped up indoors studying. I could look out the window. It's going to be sunny. The birds would be chirping. I can take a break and go outside and won't experience any bad weather or rain. I don't know, how are you looking at the finals week, Nico?
Yeah, if you want to study outside next week, except for maybe a few showers around on Sunday, it's looking like you could study outside. It's definitely going to be nice to not have to walk around in the rain when we're taking our finals. We don't have to worry about any severe weather during finals week like we did yesterday. It's obviously interesting when it comes through, but finals week isn't the best timing for anyone to deal with severe weather.
Yeah, hopefully these good vibes that the weather brings us would translate into our performance in these finals. Definitely have to hit the books hard this week to finish strong in these classes. I don't know, how are you doing in these tough meteorology classes?
My meteorology classes are going well, but some classes like physics are much, much more difficult, and I'm going to have to study a lot for that final on Tuesday.
Yeah, and if you guys want to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather.
You can always like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/FSU weather.
And you can watch us live on YouTube, and if you are watching us live, please subscribe at FSU Weather on YouTube.
You can always follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather. You can send us pictures at any of these social media sites, and we will see them if you see anything interesting that we will want to see.
So now we're going to pass it off to Caitlin for a final look at the 7-day for Tallahassee.
Yeah, thank you, Nikos. We are sitting, like we said, beautiful weekend up ahead, nice and sunny, 70 temperatures in the 70s. It's going to feel wonderful. Warm next week, so do think about that. We are sitting in the 80s. Even our lows are really warm, sitting in the mid-60s. So that's something to think about. But we really appreciate you guys watching, and we're hoping that you guys have a great weekend and have a great rest of your Thursday.